lives in the woods in the backyard here, and I found in the morning there was a barred owl, and then in the morning I heard a red-shouldered hawk. And I've already seen a couple of cool insect situations that I plan to share with you at some point. Haven't had too much time to dig into them yet because of the move. Hey David, how's it going? Good to see you. But then there's one, like the tricky thing is when I come across the insects in the wild sometimes is that I need to do a broadcast right away. Otherwise, I don't know if they're going to stay around for the next Thursday, for example, or the next broadcast or whenever. So, hi, Zach. Hello. Thanks for the award, David Howden. How are you guys doing? Yeah. The move went okay. Yeah. And so on the porch I'm in Atlanta, Georgia now. On the porch of the house where I'm at, there's a really pretty spider web, and with a tiny and spiny, hence the name of the title of this broadcast, little spider in the inside of the orb, which I just posted to my iNaturalist account if you want to see a blurry picture there. Blurry picture, but enough to identify it. So the scientific name, or the name of this is the spiny-backed orb weaver and Orgastra acantha cancriformis. So the one tricky thing, as I come to show you guys the web, so a word of warning here is that the two other times that I've approached this orb web, the spider has dropped out of it and left on a piece of silk and went down to the ground. Hey Peter, hi Zach, hey David, thanks guys for the awards of various kinds, from appreciate to the super heart to the hello. Yeah, so this spider, when I come to say hello to it, it basically says goodbye, and it drops on a piece of silk down. And if it thinks the first level of dropping down isn't low enough, it drops even further down. And then the last time I went, it went all the way down to the ground. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, I better not scare anymore, otherwise I won't have my subject that I'm planning to share on the bug scope today. Yeah, good to be here, Peter. Yeah, very chaotic with the moving and whatnot, so good to be here. Yes, camera shy, people shy, big animal looming over to see what they're up to shy. What's interesting to me about the way that it drops down like that is that it's not an uncommon behavior in the insect world, or spider world for that matter, I suppose, too. Because I think I discussed this on the bug scope before. I'm not sure, but there are little green caterpillars that will be on top of leaves in trees or other vegetation, and they will use their silk to drop down and escape if they feel the vibrations of a predator on a nearby leaf or nearby part of the plant or stem. So that's called convergent evolution, when there's different animals or even plants on different parts of the tree of life that independently came to have a certain behavior or trait, or even phenotype or morphology. And so this dropping down on silk is pretty popular. So let's check it out without further ado. The microscope has made it safely. I've packed it up back in the container it originally came in, so I definitely held on to that since I know I'd be moving somewhat soon after getting it, and looking forward to using it here outside even. And I wrote the bug scope on the outside, fragile, be careful, and so it's here in good shape. Oh, I also ought to say that my Atlas Obscura class starts next week. It was going to start this week, but then with Hurricane Ida coming through, I hope everyone's safe from Hurricane Ida. It's pretty wild, the flooding that's occurring in Pennsylvania and New York, and even a tornado in New Jersey that lifted a roof off. This highway that goes in through Philadelphia, 676 is what it's called, the Vine Street Expressway is flooded, which is so weird. It's wild. Anyway, yeah, so my class is pushed back because of all the power outages and things and storms and bad connection, and we had a power surge here too that were occurring this week from the Hurricane Ida. So hope you guys are all doing well. Yeah, so I'm teaching. I'll post it in the chat here. I think I can go on I have my computer right near me, so I can post it there. Hi, Pablo. Hi, Rev. Hope you're well. Okay. Yeah, I'm teaching a class on insect collection and preservation. So I'm really excited for it. It's 3. Let me look it up. Atlas Obscuro. Here it is. Okay. I'll drop it into the chat here. I have over 65 students for it. Very excited. It's 3 sessions long. There'll be demonstrations and like an overview of collecting, sourcing, different collection techniques, like kind of PowerPoint form, and then also, yeah, like live demonstrations of different mounting techniques for entomology and things like that. Yeah, so I'll drop that here. Thanks for the WOW award and the Appreciate award, you guys. Thanks, Rev. Yeah, I'm really excited to teach this class because it's something that I think, pretty clearly passionate about because I've been working in the entomology collection at the museum in Philly for so long. And I just, especially my journey, I think too, like, how, do you guys ever have that experience where like you don't like a food when you're a kid and then all of a sudden, like the acquired taste, like, and then all of a sudden, like there's a transformation and then you love the food. It's like your favorite food. That's happened to me with like onions and spinach and mushrooms. Those are all things I did not like as a kid, but then now as an adult, they're like one of my favorite things to eat. And I think that kind of is the same as how it was with insect collections for me, because when I was a kid, I was like, oh, like I don't like bugs to be dead. That's like I like my bugs alive, and was kind of afraid of doing collections and things like that. But then, like I learned how important it is for conservation and for understanding the insect world, and I started really appreciating how you're able to compare specimens side by side, and how you can use them for outreach and for just getting a closer look and appreciating them in ways that you would not be able to with just a photograph or just by seeing it in the wild. So it's really valuable. Okay. I dropped the link in the chat for my class. I wonder if I can present it on screen. Nope, I can't, as myself, but not being in the studio on Haps. Okay. That was a test. You don't like seafood and you're still 40 plus. Yeah, so there's some things that we never acquire as a taste. It's better for the sea that way and for our environment that way, because the seafood fisheries are facing a lot of stressors. So that's good. That's okay. I mean, I don't know if it's good, but it's okay. It's good for the environment. All right. Let's go look at this spider. Let's go look at that spider. And thanks, Rev, for your supportive words. Yes, fish are friends, not food. Okay. So, of course, with any spider web situation, it can be difficult to show you the actual web because they're pretty invisible, which helps them catch prey. But I will do my best. And something that's what really stood out about this web is that it's fancy. You'll see why. I haven't seen a web like this before. Okay, so here's the web. Like, here's the spider. My phone doesn't want to focus on it. Focus on my hand, maybe. There we go. There's the tiny little spider. Do you guys see how this web has these fancy tufts of silk on the side? It's super fancy that way. These are support strands of silk along the side of the web. Sorry for the focus. This is the tricky thing about spider webs too, is that the phone does not want to focus on it. The struggles of broadcasting entomology and tiny things. And then, okay. Is it alive? Asks Alex Divine. And hi, Miko. I saw that you were over there on Twitch too. Yes, it's alive. So I'm putting my macro lens on, so pardon the blurry. And I'm going to try to zoom in, but once again, it might drop to the ground, so bear with me. There he is. Our little spider friend. Our little spiny back spider with the characteristic 3 main spines. Yeah, Alex, it's super cute, isn't it? It looks like a face. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the designs on it. It's probably just supposed to look like bird poop or debris. What country? This is the USA, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. But they're pretty widespread, I think, in range. And they will just have like one life cycle per year, but in places like Florida, they'll be living and breeding all year round. Interestingly, after they mate and lay their eggs, the females die. And then the males will also die shortly after transferring their sperm to the female. So it's interesting how it's like they don't mate multiple times or anything like that, it seems like. So I wonder what's up with that. So it's not scared, interestingly, and at least doesn't seem that way. Maybe I can scare it on purpose for the sake of education so we can see it drop from the web. Let's see. Oh, never mind, it's not going to drop. It said it's just moving away. Hi, little spider. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, it dropped. There we go. Okay. So it dropped and it's right down here. Just looks like it's a piece of dangling debris. And this obviously is a very advantageous technique, which is why it has that instinct. And yeah, it can just get lost. They're found in like shrubby areas and edges of, and it, oh, here it's crawling back up already. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in focus. There it is. Up we go. Back to the web. Back to its spot. And then it's going to hunker back down in the center of its web, perhaps. Getting readjusted. Yeah. All right. So that's our spider friend, you guys. Right? Oh no! It dropped onto my hand, and then it's climbing immediately back up. Oh, it probably did that when I was talking, and maybe it felt the air. Now it's trying a different technique. It looks like where it's climbing up. Up and away. All right, I'm gonna come back down because I think I've scared it enough for the moment. But thanks guys for checking it out. Actually, I also want to look at the silk on its web with you for a moment as well, because I think it's so cool. It's so unique that it has those tufts of silk like all around the edge of the web. So like right here, it's very decorated. That's a very like unique feature on this web, which helps protect the web from, oops, dropped my macro lens. Protects the web from things bumping into it. You can kind of see that in the image here. It's very pretty. I'm gonna have to take a picture with my camera because I think I can get the right depth of field to get just that part in focus, to show it a little more easily. Does the center of the web, which I'm guessing might focus the vibrations from all directions, be why they hang out in the center? That's a great question. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't have a great answer for why the center of the web. I would just, like, I haven't read any scientific literature on that topic, is what I mean when I say that. But yeah, I guess I'm guessing it probably helps them figure out, sorry, I'm trying to adjust my selfie stick tripod. Yeah, my guess is that it must help them with knowing what direction to run if there's prey, perhaps. I really don't know. It's a good question. What kind of spider? Asks Stanley. Spiny. Broadcast on my computer, so I wasn't using up too much bandwidth. It's called the Spiny backed orb weaver, and what's also cool about it is that, let me pick this up. There are many different variations of this species. So in some places you might find populations with these red spikes on their body, others that are yellow, some that are red and black. So it's really cool that they have that variation. All the same species, just different color variations. And here's a map. This website's bugguy.net. And here's a map that shows I would not have found this in Michigan. These are mostly more southeast spiders, southeastern spiders in the USA. So this website, bugguide.net, only does North America. So I don't know how far down the range extends. I'm going to guess it goes into Central America, maybe even South America. But I don't know off of this data. Wow, look at the reflection. Okay. Is the variation environmentally related? That's a great question. I don't know. Potentially. I have not dove that deep into exploring the literature on this species. Let me see if it says anything on here, though. Yeah, it looks like based on like the location, so maybe just subpopulations, because it's saying in Florida it's usually white with black spots or red spines. So different areas have different variation. It seems like It seems like it suggests that it's probably not environment, but more like location, geography based variation. Do some spiders eat their mate? All the time. That's a huge risk in the spider world. I think my phone might be heating up, so in case anything happens, but hopefully it'll hang in there. Yes, thanks Neuron for the emojis. And yes, Rev, great question. Earlier I was talking about how not just spiders will drop on a piece of silk to stay safe. That's clearly one of the things that this spider does. There's another spider called the Argiope garden spider. It's a big yellow one that people like will come across and be like, oh my gosh, this spider is huge, and they'll be afraid of it. But it's like really one of the most gentle spiders ever. And they do not drop from their web in this way. Some spiders instead, unfolsed cellar spiders are in the house too, will sometimes before dropping out will rock back and forth in their web, like bouncing, like they're on a sideways trampoline, to make themselves bigger and intimidating and to scare something away. In the end, many spiders will end up running away. That's definitely a major, it sounds like silly, but that is a defense. You run away. You remove yourself from the situation to defend yourself, and that's what some spiders also do. That's basically what this spider is doing, but it's not running; it's dropping away, and then it's able to crawl back up very easily to where it originally was. Definitely doesn't have a spider profile with the legs tucked under, says Rev, looking like a blob of bird poop. Yeah, I think so too. Or other detritus might be from evolutionary pressures. Yeah, so there's a spider called a decoy spider, which does have debris in its web. And other spiders will have like some curled leaves in the web where they hide inside, or retreats at the top corners of their web. It's very interesting, and I think that it can be I think many people who haven't dove into the world of spiders or just, going about their life, like you think of the typical spider being one that crawls on the ground, is in an orb web, but once you stop and look around. Also, is my connection okay? Question, because it looked like it maybe dropped a little bit for a moment. And I'm getting used to this new internet too. So feedback with that is helpful. But yeah, I encourage you to just like take a little look and see like how this web is different from another web, because they'll each species will have different characteristics. And if you are an arachnologist, if you're a student studying arachnology and studying spiders, what I always encourage them to do if they're making a spider collection and trying to identify their spider collection is take notes on how they found their spider. So you can collect the spider, preserve it in alcohol for a collection, but if you really want to figure out what it is, it's going to help you so much to note where the spider was and what it was doing. Because certain families of spiders have horizontal webs, others have vertical webs, others have tangled webs, others have weird shaped like dome or basilica sort of webs. And that can really help you narrow down what you're looking at. Thanks, Rev, for letting me know about that. Yeah. Yeah, it gave me a little notification being like, end broadcast, and then it went away very quickly. So maybe that was the dropping. So yeah, this is our little tiny and spiny friend highlight of the bug scope today. I am wondering if I ought to move it because it's really like literally in the center of this walkway, going towards the entrance of this house. So someone's gonna walk into it soon. And although there's a side door for this house too, so that's why it hasn't been an issue yet. But I'm just wondering if I ought to anticipate that and like move the spider elsewhere or just let it be. So for now, I'll let it be and just tell everyone about it, and then we'll see what happens. David saying, Frank, hello. I was reading something recently about research on web evolution and whether whether the habit evolved only once or twice could be an interesting topic for future scopes or a Sips and Sebastian one. Yeah. I think I'll mention it to Sebastian, and we can store that away for a future broadcast. How's it going, Frank? Good to see you. I'm here in sunny Georgia. Wrapping up the broadcast now, though, but I still have a bunch of unpacking to do and things like that. The bug scope is safe in its box, and looking forward to getting that set up here. But before I go, I will show you the tiny and spiny spider once again. Hopefully we will not scare it down from its web as it's been doing, but we'll see. All right. And flipping the camera. It's kind of patrolling its web right now. Oops. I can't reach the button very well. Okay, there we go. Don't get scared, spider. Here it is. Hello, tiny and spiny. It's so cute. It's such like a little button spider. It's really, I think it's patrolling. You can see it's like kind of has that one piece of silk that it was like gracefully leading itself down on. It's so amazing how they work with silk so elegantly. Yeah, I drove down in the moving truck like a day or 2 days ago, and yeah, sorry, on Monday. So getting settled. All right. That's right. The microscope is super important too. Let's take a look at the other side of this before we completely end the broadcast. Here's the other side of the spider. A nice bouquet back there. Here's the underside. What's interesting about these spiders is how their spinnerets seem to not really be at the very tip of the abdomen. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. I was able to do that. Cool. Their spinnerets are like in the middle, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. So yeah, thanks guys for joining today. So many more dangerous bugs in Georgia. There's definitely more, like, I think that we're just above the subtropic region of the world. I forget what the exact latitude is, but it definitely is hotter here, and the weather is more mild, which means more bugs throughout the year, which is pretty exciting. So that is helpful for finding awesome things to show you guys here on the Bug Scope. So yeah, the spider's name is, I'll bring up the scientific. I'm so bad at memorization of scientific names. I have it on my computer. It's like Gastrocantha canceriformis, or the spiny-backed orb weaver. That's the name of it. And it has these cool little tufts of silk that I was showing people earlier on the web. See those tufts? It like really decorates the web with these tufts all around. Kind of like a stripy, an interestingly stripy web. It's very interesting. thanks for joining me to take a little look into the life of the spider. And yeah, so I'll just show you my computer screen here. This is it. And this is on bugguide.net. Gasteracantha cancriformis. Oh, I think Gasteracantha cancriformis, the spiny-backed orb weaver. Hey, Mark, thanks for the hug award. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And as you can see in that image I just shared too, they have a bunch of different color formations, which is really interesting as well. All the same species, but some are, have different color combinations, which is pretty interesting. It appears to be based on geographical location. Yeah, it is pretty crab looking. A lot of things have evolved to be in a crab-like shape in the world. And then before I go, here's my class, which is starting next week, pushed back because of Hurricane Ida. But I put the link in the chat, so if anyone is here at the end of the broadcast and is curious to learn more about it, you can go onto this website. That link is in the chat and check it out. So, all right. Oh yeah, thanks for encouraging sponsorship, something that I always forget to do. And thanks everyone who are current sponsors and thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. It's been a really chaotic summer of moving and figuring stuff out and just so much. And I really appreciate you sticking with me and being a part of this journey, especially during these weird Delta times. So, and these weird in between times between as I keep on getting delayed with my fellowship. But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna sign off now. Thanks guys for joining today. Hope you're well. Hope you're staying safe. You and your loved ones and friends and family and communities are staying safe from Delta, and I hope that you're able to be well, find the joy in the world, and enjoy the little things in life, especially the bugs. Get lost in that awesome world that you can find in so many places around you if you just take an extra moment to look and slow down. So, all right. Take care, everybody. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye.